Hey everyone, welcome back to another awesome video on the little racing game I'm doing. It's been a while, I might be a little rusty, so please don't mind me. Let's jump in and see where I'm at right now. Okay, so cars all over the place, doing slalom. Right, okay, so I have the flare position working in the top left corner, and I still kind of suck at driving. Okay, so what I'm gonna do in that video, I guess, is getting those timers up there, upright, for the current lap and the best lap to actually do something. And also, I probably should make something happen when you finish a race, you know, when you did all 3 laps. Because that's kind of expected from a racing game, you know. So yeah, okay, let's get back to it in just a minute. So also good to know, this is probably going to be a pretty long video as usual. I'm sorry for that, can't help it. I got a few hours ahead of me, so, and I don't like editing videos because it takes forever, so this is going to be a long video. I don't know how much I can do in just one video, but I'm pretty sure I can do quite a lot. So first thing would be to open up the proper widget that we want to display stuff onto, which is, if I remember properly, going to start with R and finish with race, cars, loading, yeah, UMG race, that should be the one, yes. Are those variables? Yes, they are. Okay, so I can actually modify those in the event graph. Current lap and bed, okay, cool. Let's drag them on here, just to be ready to do stuff on them. That's in the event construct. Actually, I think I'll update those in the game mode, not in the UMG itself. So I'll have to remember those names, okay. So I have a game mode over here. I have the event tick, okay, that's cool. That is not used. Event tick, okay. List of cars, okay. Let me just try to remember what that code looks like. It has been a few weeks without doing anything on it, so. Okay, so here is where I get all the cars. Yeah, get all actors. Okay, cool. So here is where I list all the cars. So if I were to want to save what time they started the lap, that's where I should do it. Yeah, pretty much. After the 3-second delay is done, which is here, okay. So here is where I want to set the first lap starting time, which I'll use to know how long the lap lasted when the player crosses the finish line. Cool. So I need a new array of float, which is going to hold a number of seconds. So that would be actually time. I'm pretty sure it's not saved in seconds. So get game time. Yeah, get game times in seconds. Okay, cool. So something around those lines here. So here, that new variable should be float, just like I thought, an array of float, more accurately. And that should be lap start time. Cool. I should probably make a add instead of, yeah, that'd be a bit smarter. Okay, and that is going to be, is player control true or false, doesn't matter. I want this done for both the players and the NPCs. Cool. So now for each car on the map, I have a float variable telling me when they started the lap. Cool. All right. Just position that in the list, if the editor will allow me to. Okay. All right, and just out of curiosity, I'll do a print string. Just to make sure it all functions properly. And actually, I want to know the index and the time. Cool. I should probably format that a little bit. All right, let's see if that much works. So after the countdown, I should, yeah, I'm getting a list of seconds. Cool. That much is good. I can go on knowing that this is good. If something breaks, I don't have to worry about that. That was done properly. Cool. So now I guess the next step would be the finish line blueprint, which is going to toggle an event whenever a car crosses it. That's it. Cool. So now I need to get also my lap start time array. Damn, this is a mess. And the editor just froze. Come on, don't do that. Okay. I need to sort out that spaghetti a little bit. That is very unclear. Okay, I guess that helps a little bit. All right. Come on. All right, that should be easy enough to read through. Cool. I can't seem to click on the right places today. Okay, so from the look of this, this actually grabs the car that crossed the finish line, finds it in the car ID target. So it actually gives me the array target. Cool. So I can use that number, that little integer, to get a reference to the right car in the array. Here, yeah, that's it. More spaghetti. Okay, so that should give me the starting time. I guess I'll get game time again. In seconds, please. So that minus that should give me the lap time. Right? Yeah, right. So that is the, not the current, but the last lap I did. That's the duration in seconds of it. So I guess I need another array in the game mode for like best lap time, which I'll compare this one to know if it's the best or not. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Actually, just duplicate that one. And best lap time. Okay. Cool. So I'll need to get that new array here. I'll get its value again for that index here. And I'm going to compare those. Is that one bigger? I actually want it to be smaller if it's a best time. So is that one smaller than that one? And then put that into a branch. Okay, cool. Of course, I do not want to do that if the current lap is 1. Because, you know, the car spawns here and it crosses the line here, so I don't want that first crossing the line to be taken into account in that calculation. So I guess I should be getting that value here. So how many laps? Yeah, that's the number of laps I got. If it is equal to 0, equal 0, then I don't do shit. Or actually, no, I will do something. Yeah, I will do something. Here I will do a set instead of a get. Set. That's the lap start. Okay, now. Not add, but how do I set a variable in an array that already exists? There is a set element somewhere. Set array element. Jesus. At that index, I do not want a size to fit because that index already exists. And I want that to be this one. And that happens whether it's the first lap or not. So I want to plug that before the branch. And again, I'm making a mess out of these wires. Okay. Oh, God. See, this is about the only downside to doing this in blueprints instead of C++, is it's always so tempting to just make a mess out of it and then be completely unable to read anything you did afterward when you come back to it. And you kind of have to, you know, make it pretty when you do it. It's just kind of a pain. All right. And actually, you know what? I'll do that even before that branch, because it doesn't matter if, okay, something like this. Cool. Cool, okay, that's pretty readable. So now whenever the player crosses the finish line, I set the start lap time for that car to whatever time it is now. So I can run that calculation over and over again. Then of course, the calculation itself. Okay, no, I need to do this last, which is going to be quite of an extensive pain in the ass, because I need to do all the calculations before resetting that variable to the new start time, of course. That's going to be a lot of stuff to plug into that because of all of those branches. Whatever. So, okay, if that lap time is smaller than the best one, that's true, you plug it in here. If it's not equal to 1, if it's not equal to 0, sorry, you set the best lap time. Best lap time, set array element. The index is always that index. The item will be current time minus start time. Yeah, so that's your new best lap. Cool. If that is equal to 0, meaning you haven't done a lap yet, nothing happens. So that's good. Okay, I can move on from this. And after that, of course, you can finally set the new starting time here. All right, so that means if you don't set the new best lap, that also goes here. Like that. If the lap is not bigger, it is not smaller, sorry. Do you have to do something? No. So you also plug that here. Or actually, plug that in here, because that's all going back to the same place. Okay, cool. So that right there should give me a best lap variable that I can display on the HUD for the player. Okay. Okay, alright. Now for the current time. Actually, no, you know what? I'll do even better than that. And I'll display that on the screen right away before I do anything else. Just to make sure that works properly. So I need to get the car I did this for, yeah. So it's that car. Okay, add that index. Is player controlled. So it's not gonna do anything if it's not player controlled, sorry. So if it's an NPC, it's not gonna try to find the HUD to display that value onto, you know, which kind of makes sense. If it is player controlled, then get its controller, which we're going to cast to, what is the name of the controller I'm using? Player state, BP controller. Yes, okay, cool. That's the one. Which holds variable pointing to the HUD that I'm displaying on the screen. Okay. So I need to cast to BP controller, and I'm doing all that on the wrong screen so you don't see it. Cast to player controller, only if that's true, meaning it's not an NPC. And from that I can get the UMG reference. Okay, I cast to the wrong controller. Sorry about that. And I have 2. Why is that? That's the wrong one. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's HUD, not UMG. Yay, got it. So get vehicle HUD, okay. Told you I was a bit rusty. And from there I should be able to get the best. Oh, UMG race, okay. I don't have a variable for that one, right? Because I'm spawning it in game mode. Set HUD. Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't need any of this. Get game mode. Cast to default race. Yep. I need to find a better way than this for the future, because I want this to work no matter what game mode you're using, but for now I just want it to work, period. I'll figure out the details a bit later. And I want to get HUD from the game mode, because it only spawns a HUD for the player in the game mode. This is not the game mode. And then sets a variable before adding it to the viewport. Now I realize in multiplayer, if you get more than one player, this ain't good. Don't do that. But again, I'll work out the details a bit later. Alright, I'll go crazy. Okay, so there it is. I have the HUD. I can get the text, so get best lab and set text. Cool. Cool, so I can now set the text on the screen to be displaying the best lap. Now I don't know if it's the one I just calculated or the one that was already there, so instead of just dragging from one of those, I'll get the best lap again. Best lap time here. I have a get, so that's the best lap time. That's stored in the array. Since that happens after I set the array, it's going to return the right variable even if it changes here. Okay. So that here is the amount of seconds. I need to convert that to display it on the screen properly. I'll just place anything right now so that the wire stays there while I think a little bit. So that would be minute, seconds, and milliseconds. So I need to format from seconds to that. What nodes do I have available for that? So make time span, no. Return time span. Represent a specified number of hours. Okay, that returns me a time span I can break. Oh, awesome. So I need to plug the number of seconds in there. And it's breaking it into minute, second, and milliseconds, so I can use that to set the text. Amazing. So I need a... Okay, there is no append for text, so I'm first gonna need to make this a string, like so, which I can then append. Yep. So I first want minutes, then I want space, double dot, and another space, then I want these seconds. Then again, space, double dot, space, and the milliseconds. Just like so, and now it should be displaying the best lap time properly, I suppose. Okay. There's no space, and the last one is only a dot. And I'm in the controller again. So just double dots and a dot. Okay. Now let's actually try to finish a lap so I can see if that works the way I want it to. Okay, so I just crossed the finish line. It did change the best, which it wasn't supposed to do. So I need to address that. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to try to finish this lap in order to see if that time changes and if it's somewhat realistic. So it's 5:15 right now. So it'll probably be around a minute or something if I did it properly. And nothing happened. Okay. Okay, so something is wrong. Is player control true? Okay, so I know that part here is good because the first time we crossed the finish line, we saw the text changing. So I know it's not a problem with updating the HUD. That part is working. So it's something else, something that I'm gonna find very soon, hopefully. Okay, so let's go again from the start. So get game time in seconds should always be bigger than the start time, because time is going forward, so it's always that minus that. It's alright. Is it smaller? Oh, okay, I know what I'm doing wrong. Of course, you know, the first time I do a lap, it's gonna be like a minute, which needs to be smaller to the already existing variable in order to execute this, which it isn't, because that variable doesn't exist yet. And even if it did, it would be 0, because I didn't set anything in it. So it is not going to be smaller, not for the first time. Which means right here, I need to make sure that the lap number is not 0. And if it is, then I'll set the best lap time to something, anything, just for the next lap to be smaller, and register the first lap as your best lap until you make a better one. Whatever. Okay. And again, that's a lot of wires just everywhere. Okay, so if that here is false, I need to make another branch. And then I go to that one. If lap time equals 0, we do something. If it doesn't, then we go back up here. So for readability reason, I should probably do something like this. Okay. Now if it is 0, if you haven't done the lap yet, we set the array element for the best lap time to a ridiculous number, so that the first time you make a lap, you're sure to beat that number. And we're gonna do that here. True. That's the index. And for the variable, something crazy, like so. So on the first time we cross the finish line, you know, when we just start the race, that is going to be the best time for the lap. So whenever we finish the first lap, we're going to beat this, and it's going to display the first lap time as the best, because it was the first, and you didn't beat it yet because of that. So, but we do not want to display that crazy number on the screen the first time you cross the finish line, and that's a problem. Well, actually, no, it's not much of a problem. I just don't connect it here, which means I need to redo this separately right here. So again, this array is taken here. The index should be the same as all the others right here. And the, okay. So we're still going to set the lap start time, but we won't display anything on the screen for the first time you cross the line. But that will ensure that the second time you cross the line, it actually works. Okay. I just remembered I did not implement any anti-cheat features. So instead of doing a full lap, I can actually just go back and forth the finish line to test and it just changed, which it shouldn't have. So I know something is wrong. So that means that lap I'm using. Oh, I'm not using the right one. Okay, okay, that's cool too. I should be using the bottom one. Oh, I am using the right one. Okay. Is the lap actually set to 1? Yeah, okay, that's it. Genius. I set the lap to 1 before. Okay, so I need to make sure this is not the first lap. Oh dear love of programming. Okay, so I'm now doing the first lap. Text didn't change. Now boom, okay. Second lap, because I crossed the finish line again. Text is changing, but it's the wrong number. Okay, we're making progress. I probably need to take that because the area is empty right now. Yeah, I need to take that. Cool. My bad, my bad. Okay, cool, it worked. It took me exactly 7.791 seconds to go back and forth the finish line, which is great. And now for the third lap, I guess it took me a little less time because it didn't change that number. Okay, so now that we can display the best lap time, we have to display the current lap time. And I guess that is gonna have to happen on the HUD because it just wouldn't make sense anywhere else. So, raise, okay. So here in the variables, I don't seem to have a reference to the car this widget is displaying for. So I'll need to address that first, I guess. Yep. So get owned. Get owned player pawn, which I'm going to cast to BP master vehicle. And I need to get the game mode, which I'll cast to the default. Okay. And with that I can get lap start time. Okay. I can get the cars. Why is that a setter? I need to get. That's better. I need to find that vehicle I just casted in order to get the index of the array. Okay. Cool. Now with this, I can have the start time of the car I'm driving. That's all right, okay. So game time, again, in seconds, minus that should return the current lap time. Good. And I need, of course, to do that on the event tick. Nope, actually, nope. I'll do that on the timer. Because we don't have to change that text like, 60 times a second. So I don't want this to be tied to the FPS. So add a custom event, text update, and I'll set a timer. So set timer by function name. Yeah. I'll make it happen, let's say 10 times a second so that you can't see it. Set it to loop, function would be text update. Like so, okay. And that is cool. And I'll actually place that here so I can use those. So current lap, set text on the timer, and I'll use the same. Ta-da! There it is. Yay, okay. Yeah. So I can now realize I forgot to replug that here. Right there. After I set the timer for that function to update the text. And this is a lot of wires getting in the way. Okay, something like this. Like that. Okay. Okay, all right. That should work. Hopefully. Whatever. Okay, so when I finish the crossing line, it resets. Like it should, of course. So that works properly. Now I just need to be sure I don't do any of this. Is the lap number is 0. Because I don't want to start counting current lap time until I cross the line for the first time, So I guess I'll need a branch. And I now need to get the lamp. Okay. Yay. So it's not starting the count until I cross the finish line. For the first time. Starting the first lap. Okay. Now, I don't really like the way it displays the number. You know, I'd like to have 2 zeros instead of just one. And when it's like smaller than 10, to have a 0 and then the number, not just the number. So I guess I've got some more work to do on the formatting. Okay. And I'll actually do that work here because I got more space. Yeah, no, I won't do that for the milliseconds. Just for the minutes and seconds. Okay, and I need to append again. Okay. Okay, so like that, if minute is smaller than 10, if second is smaller than 10, so if you're like 9 seconds in, it should add a 0 in front of it, and when you hit 10, it'll just not add anything, so it'll be 10. So you always get 2 numbers displayed, even if the number is smaller than 10. At least that's the idea. From experience, that might backfire a bit, because strings are a bit weird, and when you don't type anything in here, instead of just not printing anything, they tend to print none. Like literally just write none on the screen, which is a bit weird, so let's see if that happens. And yeah, okay, of course I only did that for the finish line, so it's not gonna affect the current time. So yeah, I need to move this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I really need more space over here, so usually you'd be tempted to place all these in functions so that it's not just one huge crowded graph. But yeah, it's late, I'm tired, I don't want to bother, so I'll just move stuff around a lot. And okay, so that worked. As you can see, the current is clearly printing zeros in front of numbers that are not 10. Now that it's over 10, it doesn't add anything. So we're not getting that weird stuff from the prints. Okay, that's cool. Alright, okay. So that seems to be working. We now have the current lap time displaying and the best lap time comparing to the previous best every time you cross the finish line. So they're not just static text anymore, they actually do stuff. Okay. So yeah, next thing I said I would do is make some kind of a race end event. You know, display some UMGs and, you know, let the player know that they won or lost the race. Display some statistic, you know, like what's your max speed and what's your best lap time and all, and just give a summary of the race that you just finished. But I'm really tired, so I think I'll save that for another video. So yeah, that was it. A bit rusty, a bit looking for my words, but yeah. Tell me if you would like to see more about the race, and if not, then I guess I'll find something else to record. Or not, I don't know. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.